In this video, we will be looking at the supply and demand curve. First, we'll start by looking at the demand curve. So we want to look at an example. So we can have D equal to minus 2p plus 18. Now here, where D is quantity, so the quantity demanded is D, and P is the price. Okay, so we could graph this. We could graph this equation. And we're going to put the quantity on the quantity goes on the x-axis, and price will go on the y-axis. Okay, so let's have intervals of 2 for quantity. Okay, so this is quantity down here. And over here is price. So we have one. Okay, so we're going to do a little sketch of that graph, and that function read D equal to minus 2p plus 18. So using the intercept method, we're going to set 0 for the quantity. So if D is 0, and solving for P, we'll get P is equal to 9. And now we're going to set the price equal to 0. And then the quantity D is equal to 18. So we want to graph this. So the point 18, 0 is over here because the quantity is 18 when the price is 0. And when the quantity is 0, the price is 9. So let's connect this with a straight line. Okay, so now suppose we were asked what is the quantity demanded when the price, say the price is 2. So what would be the quantity demanded when the price is equal to 2? So if we did a quick look at the graph, we could just come straight over from the price being 2. Okay, so a rough estimate, it's a rough estimate is 14, but we could also work it out algebraically, right? So in the equation, we could put in 2 and see what the quantity demanded is. So we'll have D equal to minus 2 times 2 plus 18, so that's minus 4. Plus 18, so the quantity demanded is 14. So here, when we have a price of 2, a fairly low price, so low price we have a high demand. Okay, so when the price is low, we have a high demand. Now, what about, say, when the price is high? Let's say the price is 8. Okay, so suppose the price is equal to 8. Okay, so suppose the price is 8. What would be the quantity demanded? So if we look at our graph, if we use our graph, okay, so that looks like 2. So estimating that it should be 2, but let's work it out algebraically and see what happens. So we have D equal to minus 2 times 8 plus 18. So we have minus 16 plus 18. And so the quantity demanded is 2. So when the price is high, the demand is low. The quantity demanded is low. So okay, so we could summarize this by saying that as the price increases, the quantity demanded decreases. Okay. Okay, so let's now look at the supply curve, and we're also going to look at an example of the supply curve. So an example of a supply curve would be S equal to P minus 3. So here S is the quantity supplied, and P is equal to the price. Now, once again, we could graph this function. So here, once again, price goes on the y-axis and quantity goes on the x-axis. So again, okay, so here S is the quantity supplied and P is the price. So in this case, I will just put in points. So I could put in the quantity. When the quantity is 0, the price is 3. When the quantity demanded is 3, the price would be 6. Okay, so we're going to want to plot those points. Okay, so here I can go 1, 2. Okay, so we have 0, 3 here, and 3, 6. So here's our supply curve. Now, let's ask a few questions about the price, right? So let's look at the price, say, let's look at it when the price, say, is 4, right? What is the quantity supplied when the price is 4? So A, when the price is equal to 4. Okay, so an estimate would be when the price is 4, so this looks like 1, yes. Okay, so the quantity demanded will be like 1 when the price is 4. So we can substitute this in and solve it algebraically. So we'll have 4 minus 3. So indeed, the quantity demanded would be 1. And let's say we ask about when the price is 8. Okay, so let's extend this graph. And okay, so from our graph is saying our quantity should be 5. But let's work it out algebraically again. S would equal to 8 minus 3, and indeed the quantity demanded would be 5. So our graphs have been very accurate here. Okay, so what do we observe here? So when the price is low, right? When the price is low, the supply is low, right? Okay, so when the price is low, the quantity supplied also is low. Supplied is low, sorry. Okay, so right, so the quantity supplied is low when the price is low. But now when the price is higher, when the price is at 8, so when the price is high, the quantity supplied is high. Okay, so we could summarize the supply curve and say that as price increases, the quantity supplied increases. Okay, so the demand and supply are going in opposite directions. Okay, so let's say we have a product and we want to look at the demand and supply curve for the same product, right? So let's look at an example of that. So for example, say the demand curve for sum product is D equal to minus P plus 18. And we have a supply curve as well, which is 2P minus 3. Okay, so what we want to do, we want to draw both of these curves on the same graph. So okay, so let's say here's 0, so 2, 4, 6. Okay, so let's look at the demand curve first. So we have demand and we have price. So again, we could use the intercept method. When the quantity demanded is 0, the price would be 18. And when the price is 0, the quantity demanded is 18. Okay, so I'll do this in a different color. So okay, so that's the supply curve the demand curve drawn in blue. And now we can do the supply curve. Okay, so quantity supplied, price. So so we could put when a quantity supplied is 0, the price would be 1.5. Okay, it should be 3 over 2, which is 1.5, 1.5. We could also try it when it's 1. So when the quantity supplied is 1, the price would be 2. And when the quantity supplied, say, is 5, the price would be 4. Okay, so plotting those points on the same graph. So we want where the quantity, so this is the quantity down here. There's the price over here. So when the quantity is 0, the price is 1.5, somewhere there. When the quantity is 1, the price is 2. When the quantity is 5, quantity supplied is 5, the price is 4. Okay, so if we drew a straight line connecting those points, okay, so here's our supply curve. going here, and this is our demand curve. Now we see that they intersect each other right here. So this point is called the equilibrium point. Okay, and so this equilibrium point means that at this price here, the same amount would be demanded by the public and the same amount would be supplied by the suppliers. Okay, so let's look at the value of that equilibrium point. So okay, so it looks like it's like 7.5. Okay, I'm going to round up and say the equilibrium point looks like, sorry, the quantity comes first. So the quantity comes first because that's acting like X. So the quantity is around 10. Okay, and the price is close to 8. Now, I'm not necessarily very confident that it worked out to be very accurate, so I'm going to work this out algebraically. So working this out algebraically, let's look at the two equations. So we have D equal to minus P plus 18, and S is equal to 2P minus 3. Right? So here we know that at the equilibrium point, the quantity for the demand and the quantity supplied is equal to each other. So this means that at the equilibrium point, D is equal to S, right? Well, if D is equal to S and D is equal to this amount, right, and S is equal to that amount, then these two amounts are supposed to be equal to each other. So I can say minus P plus 18 is equal to 2P minus 3, and then solve, right? So here I could maybe add 3 to both sides. So here I get 21. And then add P to both sides. Okay, so here I will get 21 equal to 3P and divide both sides by 3. So the price is actually 7. And the quantity demanded, okay, so let's use the supply, but here demand and supply is the same. So we know S is equal to twice the price minus 3. So S is equal to 14 minus 3. So the quantity supplied is equal to 11. So here at the equilibrium point is the quantity would be 11 and the price would be 7. Okay, so our graph was a little bit off. We had 10, 8. So it was actually 11, 11, 7. All right, so that was our point of equilibrium. So at this point, the quantity supplied and the quantity demanded would be 11, and the price would be 7. It would be fixed at 7. Okay, so now one of the questions that may pop up, suppose the price, suppose the price, so this is a question, suppose the price is set at $14 from the previous example. Right? Would there be a shortage or surplus of quantity? Would there be a surplus or shortage of quantity supplied? Okay, so now let's look at this question. So we're saying the price is 14, right? Would there be a surplus or shortage? So if we go back to the graph, here, what happens when we have $14? Okay, what happens when the price is 14? So if the price is 14, okay, if the price is 14, then here the quantity demanded is roughly 4, right? So we'll have 14.4. No, the other way around. 4.14, quantity comes first. So it would be roughly 4.14. And while on the other hand, it would be roughly 18 would roughly be supplied with the supply at a price of 14. Okay, so a lot more will be supplied. A lot more will be supplied, right? 18 would be supplied while the demand is only at 4. So to answer this question, we'll just say that there would be a surplus. Because the demand would be low and the supplies would be high. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.